Hello friends, my name is James Hawkins, and as always I'm joined by my good friends Brian Castiglione and Anthony Alessino, as well as my younger brother, Jack Hawkins. On this show we're all about parlays, overs, unders, spreads, and money lines. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Parlay-Vous.
What up, everybody? This is the Parlay-Vous podcast. My name is James Hawkins. I'm accompanied today by my younger brother, Jack. Just a good old-fashioned game of heads up today. Just the two of us running a little pick and roll on the pod. It's the way the pod always started. It was originally a two-person show. Me and Anthony Alessino.
What's one of the most important games? The two-man game.
Two-man game. Pick and roll, pick and pop. I mean, it's what we teach everybody when they're 6 years old. So, Brian couldn't make it this week. Again, this is, sorry for the delayed release. This is going to be coming out Friday, probably about 4:30, 5 p.m. Friday. Basically, look, life gets in the way sometimes. We try to be here every Tuesday and Thursday. Had I gone Thursday, it would have been me running a pod by myself, which I don't believe I'm that necessarily that entertaining alone. Probably would have been about 25, 30-minute episode tops, just me giving you the picks, my picks, not bouncing any ideas off of anyone's head. And I worked a 12-hour shift yesterday, and I really wasn't in the mood to podcast by myself. So here we are. That all being said, we missed any coverage of the opening game. We didn't get to speak about it at all. It is what it is. I'll tell you right now, I just led with all of that shenanigans about my day yesterday.
Yeah.
Fell asleep on the couch about 2 possessions into the third quarter.
Oh. You missed the game, dude.
It was a good game. I mean, I saw a lot of it, other than the Ravens coming back and making it close at the end. I saw every Chiefs touchdown, I think.
I mean, for the most part.
I didn't see Xavier Worthy's receiving touchdown.
Wide open.
I saw the highlight, but I didn't see that. I saw, I guess, did Pacheco score first touchdown in the second half?
Yeah, on that last night.
Yeah,
the boys.
Because I needed fucking Rashee Rice to get in the end zone to cash my parlay that I parlayed him and Derrick Henry anytime. And once Pacheco went in, I was like, the odds of me seeing this touchdown happen are slim. Had to be up at 4 o'clock this morning. You know, choices were made. Fell asleep on the couch. It is what it is. Before you get into anything about the game, this is my one. Good game. We're so fucking back. I am so glad. I mean, we were so back 2 weeks ago with week 0 of college ball.
Oh, yeah.
But now we're all the way the fuck back. We got 3 college games on the slate tonight. We got an NFL game on the slate tonight. We got all day of college football tomorrow. We got all day of football fucking Sunday on Sunday. And then we got Monday Night Football. The New York Jets will be letting us down probably. But
it'll be a fun game.
The point is that we're fucking so back, and I'm here for it.
We're fucking back,
I'm so
bro.
excited. And a couple of gulps of the ghosty ghost. Get the energy going. Here's what I have to say about the game. Obviously, the NFL is cracking down on the offensive linemen in the backfield, which, fine, I get it. But why now?
9 penalties on the game for infractions.
I know. Why now is my one question, because as long as I've been watching football, this is my 26th year of life, like actively watching and paying attention to football. Maybe not at the ages 5, 6, 7, 8. I wasn't an avid NFL guy, but the Jets at least. We watch the Jets every week minimum at that age. So I've been watching the NFL for a very long time at this point. As long as I can remember offensive tackles lined up in the backfield, and it was never a problem until now for some reason.
They line up so much further back, though.
Yeah, but Ronnie Stanley's foot is still in line. Like, his feet are still in line.
But the rule is the helmet, no?
No, it's the waistline.
Really?
You need to be...
This rule is so sensitive.
Your body needs to be in line with the center's belt line. That's the rule as I understand it. This is my point, though. We banged the Ravens and Ronnie Stanley 9 times, you said last night?
The Ravens 8 times.
Jawan Taylor lines up in the backfield every play for the last 3 fucking seasons. You could call a false start on him every single snap. Collinsworth said on the broadcast last night he was the most penalized player in the NFL last year. Not one time. He didn't get one.
He got one. It was the right tackle that got one.
No.
And
so Jawan Taylor's in the fucking backfield every snap of every play for the last 3 seasons, and he's going before the ball gets snapped every single fucking drive. Don't throw a flag on that. This is my issue with it. If we're, and Harbaugh was right in early on in the game. They got called, I think it was 4 snaps, 3 flags, and they were all illegal formations. Yeah, early on in the game. And Harbaugh said to the ref, call it both ways. And they weren't. For the half plus 5-7 minutes into the third quarter that I watched, they weren't calling that both ways. And that's my problem. And here's the problem with the NFL. Every time we get a team, a dominant team that's fun to watch, that's a marketable team, they're exciting. Casuals would like it. You don't find them in many boring games. We just got to keep driving it down your fucking throats until they become the enemy. Patrick Mahomes is great. Andy Reid is one of my favorite coaches I've ever watched coach the game of football. He's one of my fucking favorites. Everyone loves him. Offensive genius, likable guy. Patrick Mahomes, likable guy. Travis Kelce, likable guy. The team is exciting. They throw the shit out of the football. It's like watching the turkey bowl in your backyard before Thanksgiving dinner. The way they play, it's an exciting brand of football. But now we're at the point where they're the fucking enemy. We did it with Montana and the Niners. We did it with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. We did it with the Tom Brady fucking Patriots teams, although arguably Belichick did that to himself. But they're now the team nobody wants to root for anymore. It was really getting that way last year, but then we come out on opening weekend, and first of all, the Taylor Swift shit, I get it.
8 times. Not as bad.
I get the Taylor Swift shit because you cannot deny if it makes dollars, it don't gotta make sense, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter that Taylor Swift has nothing to do with football outside of dating Travis Kelce. It doesn't matter that, all the girls that are watching the game are only there to see Taylor. It doesn't matter if you don't think that it's actually going to grow the fan base at all. It doesn't matter if you think the NFL is already big enough. What matters is, does it make dollars? And yes, it makes dollars. More eyes are on the game. The more eyes that are on the game, the higher the Nielsen ratings are, the higher you can command for ad revenue. The higher you can fucking command for national TV contracts when they expire. Why do you think we have a game tonight on Amazon Prime Video on a Friday night?
In the middle of fucking Brazil.
I'm sorry, this game's not on Prime.
No, it's a televised game.
It's on Peacock.
Just like
no, it's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock. But why do you think Amazon added the Black Friday game last year? Why?
$4.
Because now the streamers can come in and they can offer money and they can take it away from the fucking cable, from the broadcast cable networks. It's always, this is America, people. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. That's it.
Listen.
So as far as that goes, I get it. But you were creating an enemy. You were taking your darling and making them the enemy when you fucking do shit like this. Like, the message is loud and clear to me, to Jack, to my father if he watched the game last night, to anyone who watched the first half of the game last night, to the players, to the coaches, to everybody involved, down to the fucking guy washing the jock straps at One Jets Drive. It's been made very clear to everybody the NFL is cracking down on this year. We are not fucking around with the lining up in the backfield. We've made it clear. Fine. Call it both ways. Because what you've also made clear is that rules for thee, not for me. These rules are going to apply to the Ravens, but not our guys. Not the Chiefs. Not our cash cow. Not as long as Travis Kelce is still playing and Patrick Mahomes is still playing and Taylor Swift is still dating him. As long as Kelce's are one of the most marketable families in the world. And if it wasn't for Jason and Kylie at this point, they would probably all be public enemy number 1 as well, based on the way that the NFL is shoving them down everybody's throat.
So my whole thing, not to get into like the marketability part of things, my whole thing with the lining up in the backfield, that Chiefs pass rush is legit, dude. Chris Jones is still in his prime. That guy's 30 years old, just got the bag, and he deserves it.
Can I cut you off? It's not even about the pass rush. NFL speed is like that. Every offensive line for the last 25 fucking years has lined up like that, specifically out of a shotgun formation.
Understood.
So now you're asking a guy who's lined up like this, not a guy in Ronnie Stanley. I don't want to single Ronnie Stanley out. You're asking these guys who have lined up like this their entire fucking lives. Now you want them to change? Okay, I get it. I get it. Let's adjust it. But to repeatedly just keep throwing the flag on the same guy over and over and over.
And they went to go throw it. So the sequence of events on that drive, on that second drive for the Ravens. First down, flag gets thrown. Second down, flag gets thrown again. Different guy. Third down, the ref goes to go throw the flag, and they give it to him. The guy reaches on his belt for the flag, and they say, nah, fuck it. Right? Because obviously, the refs miss calls all the time. But they were ready to throw the flag 3 plays in a row for something that we're cracking down on. Which, again, like you were saying, guys 15 years, 10 years have been lining up like this. It's a very odd thing to pick to me. And I'm not trying to be, here's the theory about it. I'm not saying that, but it looks very obvious to an untrained eye. And it's annoying to a degree, but for me, it's a game, and the Chiefs are still legit, and they're always going to be legit.
And I'm not Mike Florio or fucking any of these other guys, these rules guys, these former refs that work for the networks now to be the rules
Tirico? No, Tirico's just an analyst.
Florio.
I know you said Florio,
Mike
but I'm
Florio.
trying to think of other guys.
Excuse me. I'm not one of these rules experts. I mean, I'm pretty knowledgeable in the game of football and the rules, but I'm not a fucking lawyer when it comes to the NFL rulebook. But I feel like that should be a dead ball foul. I don't know. I mean, because if a false start is a dead ball foul, most offensive fouls, pre-snap offensive fouls, are dead ball fouls. This one's not, because they fucking snapped the ball. If the Ravens snapped the ball, the flag gets thrown right away, and immediately I'm thinking free play. We got a free play here, because if it was an illegal formation or a false start or illegal procedure, that should get blown dead right away. Lamar thought free play. Everyone on the field thought free play. He hucks one deep to Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers comes back for the ball. He gets grabbed around his neck and dragged to the ground. Flag comes out. So now we're thinking you decline. No, you decline the neutral zone infraction, and you take the pass interference. No, it wasn't a neutral zone infraction. It was another illegal formation. So I don't understand why that's not a dead ball foul. Obviously, we're not going to get anyone on this small of a platform to come on and explain it to me. I'm sure we could Google it. But obviously, it's not a dead ball foul, but I just would like to know why. Like, just make it a dead ball foul. Don't let these guys fucking run through the course of the play.
Right.
And other than that, exciting game. I saw the finish this morning on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Would have really, really grinded my gears if I was like someone that I know several people in knockout pools that took Baltimore last night.
It's a tough look.
If you had Isaiah Likely to score a touchdown, if you had the Ravens to win, if you had the Ravens to cover.
One of my fantasy associates had fucking Likely for 2 touchdowns. He was on the verge of 3.
I'll tell you, I played last night, Mark Andrews, 3 points.
God.
Ravens defense, 3 points.
Ugh.
And someone else. He had 3 guys go. He has 9 points. So.
Oh, God. I played Lamar last night. Lamar didn't have an amazing game, but the thing is, though, looking at Lamar now, I don't think it's Lamar. I think it's the system and this shitty offense that they're playing, because nobody's fucking open. Lamar's sitting there in the
last night.
Yeah, Lamar's sitting there in the pocket looking for a guy to be open for 4 or 5 seconds.
I don't think it's a shitty system. I think Todd Monken's the first person to give him the keys since he left Louisville.
True.
He's out there looking like the days of Louisville. Lamar Heisman winner.
He's very patient now. There's a development in the game there, because for a guy you're like, oh, this guy's just gonna run the ball every time. No, this guy sits in the pocket 4 or 5 seconds, and he's like, all right, it's go time, and he's one of the best to do it. And that's just how it is. But for me, my one point I wanted to cover, one of the new additions to the NFL this season, the active kickoff. I thought it was going to change the game pretty majorly, and it really didn't, because there was only one kickoff last night that was returned for a positive gain that was caught by Carson Steele, who took off like a fucking rocket out of the fucking end zone, or the 1 yard line.
Most of these guys are just going to smash the ball into the end zone.
Yeah.
And good luck. Good luck taking the ball the way that we're doing it now, this new kickoff, good luck taking the ball 8 yards deep out of the end zone. You're going to get smashed at the 12-yard line.
Yeah. It was a little odd to see, because as soon as the ball... So the one thing, like common practice you would always see in football, excuse me, on the kickoff, you see all the guys run down into the end zone on the kicking team, right? You calling a timeout?
I'm interjecting
Go ahead.
To answer you. You mean
Sustained.
On the beginning of the kickoff?
Yeah, all the guys would run down,
so,
right?
Back in my heyday,
Right.
the rule on a kickoff, offsides as the kicking team, think of it like if it's a line of scrimmage, right? The kicker would be the line of scrimmage. So you can't be in front of the kicker until after the ball gets kicked. That used to be the rule.
Right.
Then they changed the rule to no motion until the ball is kicked.
Right.
Now it's also still no motion until the ball is kicked, but they're all the way up at the 40 or wherever they are.
Yeah.
So
that's
them running and getting that running head start has been gone for a while now.
right.
They're just not starting at the 35-yard line anymore.
But the natural progression you would see is when the ball's getting kicked down, you see guys running down, right? Now, as soon as that ball is kicked, the guys take off, and that burst is gone by about 10 yards because it's going to be a touchback. Bucker did not put it in play once, and it was very interesting to see. I thought it was going to make the game more entertaining on kickoff, and it did for that one play. But all these teams are just going to boot it into the end zone
Let's just put the ball on the 25-yard line at the start of every possession.
Yeah,
if we're so worried about safety, just put the ball on the 25-yard line.
safety's
eliminate
another
the
thing,
kickoff.
though. But one thing we didn't cover.
Safety's the whole reason that we changed the kickoff rule
Right.
this year.
One thing that we didn't cover, I just want to bring up, and I want to go super deep into it. Jelani Woods is wearing a Guardian cap this entire year during games.
Jelani Woods or Kylan Granson?
Kylan Granson, not Jelani Woods.
Kylan
Sorry.
Granson, yeah, and he said...
Jelani Woods is on the Texans. Is that why I'm thinking?
Jelani Woods, I thought, was also on the Colts.
Maybe he was on. They're both play on the same team, but I mixed matched their names.
Yeah, I think Jelani Woods is still on the Colts, but yeah, no, it's Kylan Granson.
He's wearing a full Guardian cap this year.
He's wearing the full-blown Guardian cap all year. I mean, good for him. Look, if you feel you're safer that way, then do it. I think it looks dumb, but like Kylan Granson like Kylan Granson said, he's like, I don't care about looking cool. You know what's cool? Remembering my first dance with my wife.
Right.
So, hey, more power to you, dude. It's all about life after football. Like, I don't care as long as it doesn't fuck up my viewing experience of the game, which a Guardian cap will not. I don't care. Do I think it looks dumb? Yes, yeah. I think it looks dumb.
I think the sleeve they put over it did better because it has all the details.
With those details, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it looks dumb, but I'm not out there getting my head smashed in. I retired from getting my head smashed in when I was in high school.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't really give a rat's ass about that, but like I'm pretty sure Goodell said it.
The helmets are just as safe.
He said we have helmets that are safer than the Guardian cap.
Exactly.
Cool, then why aren't we just only letting them wear those helmets then? It should just
because guys get comfortable. You've been on both sides of this argument.
You get to wear
before.
the Speed Flex fucking diamond. You get to wear the fucking Vices 02, and you get to wear what's the new one?
The one that has the Power Ranger one?
No, that's the Rydell Axiom, which
you can wear that.
You can wear any of the three Rydell ones.
The Vengeance one,
the Diamond,
the Vengeance something.
No,
which
the
is
Vengeance
like
Z10 is at the bottom of the list these days.
Really?
Go on Instagram. Shout out Helmet Stalker on Instagram, because if we're going to pull the guy up, I do follow him. I mean, look, unless you're a real football nerd loser like me, I don't think you need to know, like, get updates on what kind of helmets guys are wearing.
Who are we looking for?
Give it to me, I'll find it.
There we go.
I don't think you need to be one of these guys, that's... Here it is. No, that's the Zenith, which is also...
The Zenith's up there, too. But the Zenith helmet kind of bugs me because of how high it sits up. And the face masks look a little weird. But these new helmets look pretty good. I don't mind them. I think we got to start seeing some more visors on these helmets. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, visor is a personal preference. There's no reason to wear it other than, like, if you want it.
Or if you have astigmatism, or
the
like
reason, a dark visor, yeah, you need a medical reason to wear a dark visor. But the clear visors, the reason really for wearing a clear visor is to keep fingers from getting into your face.
Yeah. But then the thing is, with the clear visor, the weather can fuck it up. But these visors nowadays, they're pretty good, the technology that they put into them. But fuck Oakley, because Oakley's never... This is my personal thing. Oakley's not good sunglasses. They're cool looking, not great product. But, what's the other brand I'm thinking of? Not Oakley. There's another brand of sunglasses that is much better product in the lenses.
Pit Viper.
Yeah, let's get Pit Vipers on the field, bro. Let's get them to sponsor the visors. Which ones are you... Who
Light. The Light helmet. The name of the brand is Light.
Oh, that's like the new one.
They're new this year. They're the safest helmets on the market. Fucking Tyrod Taylor's wearing one with the Jets. So yeah.
Oh, they look pretty good too. I like these new face mask ones too.
Just narrow down the list of helmets that they can wear if you want to fucking grandfather a guy in. Like Kamara still wears the Schutt F7, which is literally the Schutt F7 5 years ago was probably the safest helmet on the market, and now it's probably going to be banned from the NFL within the next couple of years.
Which is crazy.
That's how fast this technology is moving. But yeah, anyway, we digress.
Yeah, but what was the one? Oh, the Rydell Axiom.
Yeah, I said that.
You said that one.
Axiom. Speedflex Diamond, Speedflex Precision, Axiom. Those are the 3 Rydell ones. Vices 02, Vices 02 Trench. The Zenith helmets, I think the Zenith Orbit is one of the safer ones, and then the Light helmet. Let's move it on.
Let's move on. We're going to move to everyone's favorite game show.
No.
What do you got for me on the docket?
College football.
Hell yeah. Hit us with it.
It's college football season. It's week 2 in college football season. I originally did want to start this podcast going into week 0, but the lack of NFL content kind of led me not to. Plus, I would always recommend, everyone's going to do it anyway, including myself. I did it. Sit out week 0. Maybe make one bet, a light bet to dip your feet. The problem is most of us don't gamble on fucking baseball. So you sat since basically the NBA Finals probably, or the NHL Finals, gambling on maybe just UFC once a month or not gambling at all.
But UFC keeps pretty good.
You just got the fucking itch. You want to scratch it. And I hope you weren't one of those morons that got suckered into DJ Uiagalelei in Florida State.
That guy sucks.
Twice. I saw a fucking meme that said the drop off from Jordan Travis to DJ Uiagalelei
needs to be studied.
No. It's the worst drop off from a college quarterback starter since Trevor Lawrence to DJ Uiagalelei.
I think I saw that.
So, I mean, fuck that guy. Not fuck that guy, but I don't know. We talked about this on Tuesday. We don't need to keep... My point is, stay away on week 0. And then going into week 1, a lot of people think, this team played week 0, so I'm going to bet them week 1 because they already got to knock the rust off. Wrong. I forget the numbers exactly. I think it's like 26, 41, and 2 are teams that played in week 0, the following week in week 1 against the spread. Think about it, guys. There's more film. There's film of the team this year. You had an extra week to prepare. Typically, I would just not recommend betting really heavily at all week 0, week 1. Now week 2, we kind of know who's who. Like even Oregon. I thought Oregon was going to blow the doors off of fucking Idaho last week. They barely got by.
Yeah, it was a weird week 1 this
barely
week.
Got by. Year. So, here we are. It's week 2. We're starting now. I forget my record. I think I was like 19-8 or something like that.
You had a good record last year.
I had a good record last year. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the college segment, Jack, do you know what I'm about to say? Do you know what my philosophy on gambling on college football is?
I don't believe you went super in depth into it, so give us a refresher here.
People get really excited with college football because there's a million games on. You have games basically kicking off every hour and a half from noon until fucking midnight. There are games up the wazoo. We got games tonight. We got games tomorrow.
There's a game on Mondays. There's fucking games during the week.
Their slate is so big, and people look at it, and their eyes get real wide, like a running back who's running power duo and just saw the guard and center hole split open. They're like, oh my God, I can't wait to sink my teeth into all this action. You spread your units all over the fucking place, and you wind up getting into trouble. What I like to do with college football, my philosophy, don't get distracted by the board. Isolate 3 to 5 games lines that you really like, that you really feel strongly about, or that you feel like there's some sort of advantage behind the line, and attack those lines specifically. I try not to bet on more than 3 college football games on a Saturday, and then I just increase my unit size on Saturdays. Also, you don't want to put yourself in a huge hole before Sunday. Now you wake up Sunday morning, you only have 1-2 units to spend on Sunday because you blew your load on Saturday because of how crazy and delicious the slate looked. You know
Who wants to shovel on live television, you know?
No, you don't want to do that. So, Jack, I understand that you're jumping into the foray this year, so to speak. This is something that I have to say, thank God, before I turn it over to you, thank God that EA and the NCAA and all other parties involved finally sorted it out where we could get College Football 25, the college football video game, to finally make a return after 11 long years. It's back.
It is only done good.
We love it. We love playing it. We've always loved it. But it's not good for people like me. I mean, it is good for people like me, but this isn't what I mean. Like, people like me that played the shit out of those games growing up and, like, never really got anything like it and been playing NCAA 14 for the last 10 years whenever you needed to scratch that itch. That's great for people like us, right? But people like Jack, people like Alessino, who's not with us today, people who saw the video game came out, like, oh, yeah, I'll give that a shot. They fall into it, balls deep into it, and now all of a sudden, Alessino has never given much of a fuck about college football. Now he's texting me about, like, Power 4 schools playing FCS schools. He's into it now. So it's good for the game. The video game has just in my personal experience, has drawn more eyes of people that I've known never to be college football fans. Now they care after just one summer of playing the video game. So good on them, good for that. That's my introduction for why Jack is now going to make some college picks. Jack was not a college football guy really at all up until late last year, playoffs. The game comes out, and now this year he's all
The
about
championship.
So let's get
we
your
were
picks.
working that fucking TD Bank. But yeah. So jumping into the college football, like for me, when I started playing the game, I was like, oh, it's just another football game. But the more so when you sink your teeth into that dynasty mode, that's when you're like, all right, I can see how this can be fun. You play the game, you have the crazy plays. It's incredible. So here we go. First college segment for your boy here. It's a little controversial, but first we're going to start it off. I'm going to take the Duke money line at Northwestern. Duke is just, so over the past year, we saw what happened with the transfer portal. Duke, their head coach, he's out. He goes over to, I believe, who did Michigan play last week?
Michigan?
No, Notre Dame, sorry.
No, yeah, he's over at A&M.
A&M. Duke head coach heads over to Texas A&M. Who, great program, great move for him. Senior quarterback from Duke transfers to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard. Phenomenal game from him.
Not really. Good team win.
Good team win.
I wouldn't say it was a phenomenal.
I wouldn't say
Riley
phenomenal Riley Leonard game, but
good team win.
Great game
in Kyle Field.
In Kyle Field. Other backup for him, who Graham Mertz transfers to Florida, which we saw how that went. Ugh.
Graham Mertz not starting this weekend.
Wow, Lagway starting.
Injured. True
freshman, five-star recruit.
5-star true freshman DJ Lagway. All signs are pointing towards him getting a start this weekend.
And for a Florida fan like me,
and he
for a Gators fan,
you're a Gators fan.
I decided I picked the Gators as my first college.
Love that. It's going to be a rough year.
We'll see what happens.
It's going to be a rough year for the Gators, dude. Unless Lagway takes the job and never gives it back.
If Lagway can get out there and show that he's got some firepower in him, I think the Gators will be in a good spot. They got to figure out that defense, though, because Jesus Christ, they can't rush anything. Got to get some new coverage shells, maybe some new looks down there.
Maybe they just need to get rid of Billy Napier. I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway, Duke money line going to Northwestern. This kid Malik Murphy, he's got a fucking cannon on him, dude. This spread offense with Duke, they're gonna be throwing that rock around, and they got this running back who returned from last year, Jaquez Moore, number 9, phenomenal runner. Hits the hole very hard, very patient when he goes into the backfield. Love him. This Duke offense looks pretty good. The defense, it's a little shaky, but for an ACC school that's not too, not perennial, but not great. They can make some noise. They had a bowl game last year, phenomenal season last year for what they had. And this year, I feel like they could be looking at another bowl game. And I feel like they got to get these wins early if they want to get there. And I think right now against Northwestern, they got to take it. The spread is 2 right now. So I looked at the lines and I was like, the money lines where you're going to get your value here. And I think Duke can come away with this one. So I went with the Duke money line for my first pick. Second pick, we're moving on to Clemson at 16.5. Clemson, bad first couple of weeks, not really, need a bounce back game here, and I think they can handle business against. I didn't write their name down because I'm kind of mad I didn't do that, but it's okay nonetheless. We got the good old sports book here. Big bounce back game for Clemson this week. Covers the spread pretty handily, I believe.
In the words of Roddy White, they have far too many white guys on offense. Did you see that?
What?
Roddy White during the game last week. The Roddy White, Atlanta Falcons Roddy White. He tweeted Clemson has way too many white guys on offense to compete. It's like,
That's
he said, "You mean to tell me there's only one brother out there making plays?" His words, not mine. And then almost immediately apologized for it, like later that night.
as he should, dude. Don't disrespect Clemson like that. Oh, why am I having trouble finding this team? Anyway, we'll move to the third pick here. I'll bring up the team afterwards. Moving on to Maryland -9, handling business handily last week. Maryland, again, could be looking at a bowl game this year, so I feel like if they're going to get wins, got to get them early. And who knows, they can make some waves maybe this year if they get off to a hot start. So, to go back over the slate, we got the Duke money line. We got Clemson -16.5, and we got Maryland -9. Anything, Jim? Any,
I like it. No, I'll give you mine. I'll give you my 3 picks right now. Probably next week, as we have more information on these teams and how they're playing, I'll have more insight into it. But
Clemson's playing Appalachian State.
App State's not a bad team. Going off of not strictly, well, for this first pick is like mostly vibes.
Maryland playing Michigan State.
We got Utah. The Utah Utes -14.5 over Baylor. I'm taking them -14.5. As far as that line moving, if it gets like to 16, I might stay away. But I'm taking Utah -14.5 strictly because of Cam Rising. Cam Rising is a 25-year-old, 7th-year quarterback who, I mean, when he's going, Utah almost can't be stopped on offense. I know Baylor is a very good offensive team this year, and that's why maybe just over 2 touchdowns is a little crazy of a spread. But I'm still going to take it. We're going on vibes. The next game, we got an increasingly less rare early season week 2 rivalry game. Now with all of this conference realignment going on, it's not the death of rivalry week at the end of the year, but it's getting pretty close to it because a lot of these rivals don't play in the same conferences anymore, so it's hard to have rivalry week as the last week of the year before we head into conference championship games and such. So Saturday we have the battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy, Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Iowa State Cyclones. The over-under in this game is 35.5, and I mean, as you might be able to guess, the spread is Iowa -3. I believe the last 10 times these games have played, every single game has been decided by 10 points or less. We're targeting the over-under. We're targeting the under at 35.5 points here. I know Iowa last week got to 40 on their own, and just came a half point under the over-under threshold. But that was then. This is now. They're now playing a rival, another Power 4 school, a not Group of 5 or FCS school. And Iowa State just 2 years ago won. They've only won 2 of the last 10. 2 years ago was one of the games that they were able to win one. We know Iowa plays bone-crushing defense. We know that front 7 is mean. We know that they have a crazy pass rush, and that's going to give I-State a lot of trouble on offense. And let's just look at the facts. We're going to play good defense, and we're going to run the shit out of the ball. Last week, the starting running back, whose name slips me right now, had 241 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So if they're going to run the ball, I mean, how many games did they win last year? 10-3, 13-7. 3-0.
The Iowa money line was not money line. The Iowa under was a fucking phenomenal money maker.
And I'm going and I'm going to continue relying on the Hawkeyes going under the game total as a cash cow this season. So we're going to take it under 35.5. I'll play it to probably 33.5. Granted, I do know now Iowa is no longer with Cooper DeJean. And I believe their other starting cornerback from last season is no longer with the team. So expect I-State early to try to test that younger secondary. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, there's a lot of injuries on the I-State defense, and there's some mismatches in that intermediate level of the field where Cade McNamara might have some abilities to get the ball out there. But I'm still expecting this to be control the clock, control the game, make them not want to be there anymore. How many times can you get ran through your fucking face until you're done? I expect a lot of running. I expect a lot of 3-and-outs on Iowa State's offense, and I'm taking the under 35.5.
And just real quick, just to throw in there, when college football first came out, the game, The Iowa State, the overall team rating was fucking phenomenal. 77 on offense, 91 on defense.
Yeah, they don't even need to play offense, dude. Third and final pick this week. This is kind of vibes, but also going off the eye test and what we saw last week. This is number 14, Tennessee, taking on number 24, North Carolina State Wolfpack. NC State dealing with transfer quarterback Grayson McCall, go Shants, transferred over from Coastal Carolina. They come over and at Western Carolina last year, FCS team last week, they play them. The spread is, I think, 35?
Talking NC State?
Last week, yeah.
Last week? I didn't get to see that game.
The spread was either 28 or 35. The point is, we're talking about a 4 to 5 touchdown spread, and at halftime, it's 14-14.
Oh, God.
They wound up winning the game 38 to 27, I think, or something like that. My point is, they struggled mightily against FCS competition. Flip it over to the Vols, the Tennessee Vols. Now, this was a team that was able to do pretty well last year with Joe Milton as their quarterback, and we all know the volatility of Joe Milton's college football career, where he wows you with a 90-yard throw, but then he also wows you with the stupidity of trying to force a button hook into triple coverage and running around like a guy with a chicken with his head cut off. Now we don't have that anymore. Now we have Nico Iamaleava, who I know it's only been 2 weeks, and I know I'm not the only person to say this. I'm sure if you follow Barstool, like, you're just going, oh, he's just regurgitating whatever they said on Barstool. Not true. Just my own opinion. People who watch the game were allowed to share opinions. You can't, one person can't just originate something and then everyone else is a copy. I believe Nico Iamaleava is the best quarterback in the country at this point. He's only started 2 games. I believe he's a redshirt freshman. The way they're running that offense against NC State, the spread is only 10 points in Tennessee's favor. Smash, 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 Tennessee minus 10 over NC State.
I mean, Tennessee was just cooking last week, too.
Smash Tennessee. This is just a simple fact of, we got a guy that spent 3 or 4 years at Coastal Carolina playing in the Sun Belt Conference playing quarterback versus a guy who very quickly could be a Heisman favorite here. I'm going to go with who I believe is the more talented quarterback and who I believe is the more talented offense. I think 10 points is crazy. Tennessee minus 10. So my points.
I like that. It's a good pick.
Tennessee Vols minus 10. Utah Utes minus 14.5 over Baylor. Iowa State under 35.5 total for the game. That's the College Football Super Saturday Showdown. Brought to you by House of Havoc Podcasting. Brought to you by Ghost Energy. No free shout-outs. I'm going to have to take that out. Now it's time to play
everyone's
Long Island's favorite game show. Although I'm playing just against myself here. It's like a little beat the clock challenge.
You're playing against the book.
Guess those lines. So
yeah.
Obviously we can't guess last night's line. I knew it was -3. Even if we would have done the pod last night, I knew it was -3. Very much so, like, I'm pretty confident I still know what the line for tonight is, so we'll just do it, for fun, I guess. Philly -2.
Philly -2.
Yeah, all right.
And so, I got Green Bay winning tonight.
Well, we'll get to that next.
Well, I figure we're already here. Let's talk about the game.
No, we're going to do guess the lines, then we're going to talk about tonight's game, then we're going to do handicapping and gambling, and that's the fucking itinerary.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Carolina at New Orleans. I have New Orleans -3.5.
I got to go find this now because it's not in order. Carolina at New Orleans.
Yeah.
And your line was?
New Orleans -3.5.
New Orleans -4. Very close to the bing bong there.
Wow, very close. All right, next game, Minnesota at New York Giants.
Go ahead.
I think this should be higher than what I'm guessing it at, but because it's in New Jersey and because I don't believe a lot of people respect Minnesota the way I respect Minnesota, I have Minnesota -1.5.
Bing bong.
Really?
Jim. Minnesota -1.5. And that's some line movement because Minnesota originally had like 2.5, 3.
Yeah, I feel like it should be over a field goal, honestly, but not many people believe in Shotgun Sam the way I do.
Nah, dude. Shotgun Sammy forever.
So that's a bing bong. So I mean, if we were fucking playing this right now, I'd probably have 3 points because unless someone bing bonged me on New Orleans, it's hard to beat 3.5.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on now. New England at Cincinnati. And I have the Cincinnati Bengal Tigers, despite the fact that Jamar Chase may or may not play on Sunday. I have Cincinnati -6.5.
We got Cincinnati -8 over here.
Wow, really? Okay.
I think they're anticipating Jamar plays. I don't think this deal gets done. Still think Jamar plays.
I don't think he'll play.
I need him in fantasy, so we'll see what happens.
That's exactly why I took Garrett Wilson over him, because I figured.
Well, he
this would
also
happen.
fell to number 10. Dude.
I know.
That's
I know.
just the.
But then I got fucking flack in the group chat for taking Garrett Wilson over him at 9.
Exactly.
But like Garrett Wilson's gonna play. Pittsburgh Steelers at Atlanta. Now I didn't really take into account when I made this guess that Russ is now dealing with something and we don't know if he's gonna play. But I have Atlanta -2.5.
Got Atlanta -3.5.
Okay. Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. Week 1 divisional matchup. AR's back. Some new shiny weapons in Houston. Some new shiny defensive weapons in Indy. This is a good old-fashioned divisional matchup. I'm going.
It's gonna be a good one.
Slight edge to the home team. Colts -1.5.
Got Houston Texans -3 on the road.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that when we get to the handicapping.
Arizona at Buffalo.
Arizona at Buffalo. Go ahead.
Buffalo -4.5.
Buffalo 6.5.
That's crazy.
Not a lot of respect for Cardinals this year. They can
That's-
sneak up this year, though.
That's crazy.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Could be an early favorite for the GG.
It could. It could.
Tennessee at Chicago.
Tennessee at Chicago.
Chicago -2.5.
Chicago -3.5.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it's the media, you know?
Jacksonville at Miami. I have the Miami Dolphins -6.
Fins -3.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and I think that's a money right there. That's a money fucking
Okay.
maker.
Denver at Seattle.
Denver at Seattle.
Seattle -2.5.
Seattle -6.
That's fucking insane, dude. Really?
I know, yeah.
Seattle -6.5. I mean, I get it. Bo
It's
Nix, rookie
Bo Nix,
quarterback, the
it's-
Broncos. I get it.
It's
but
the broken receiver core.
that's
It's
fucking crazy to me.
who's the only receiver in that core now? Cortland Sutton is the only notable receiver. And then fucking,
and then
what's his
who's the
name?
really
Marvin
big-
Mims from
yeah,
last
Marvin
year.
Mims, fast as shit. Las Vegas Raiders at Los Angeles Chargers. Again, divisional matchup. Two teams, what do they got? We got a new head coach on one side, we got a new quarterback and a new head coach on the other side. I got the Chargers as the home team -1.5.
Chargers -3.
Okay.
I mean, listen, it's the Raiders and it's Minshew mania. As much as I'd love to see the Raiders
I'm okay
go
with
beat the
3.
brakes off
I'm
of
okay
them,
with 3. Had you said 3.5, I'd have a problem with it.
I think this
I
game
know
can
that
go
half
either
point-
way, though.
I know that half point doesn't seem like a lot, but that's what we call a key number.
Right.
3, 7, 10.
You're looking at
these are key numbers.
Again, 3 is still pretty tough. But what are we moving on to next here?
The boys at Cleveland, and I have the Dallas Cowboys -3.5 on the road.
Upset alert. Cleveland Browns -2.5 at
The
home.
Browns are
The
favored.
Browns are favored.
Good God.
And this is the
man.
first time in my entire life where I've considered betting on the boys.
I won't do it.
You won't do it for the respect, but
Washington at Tampa Bay. The Bucks -4.5.
the Bucks -3.5.
Okay, that's fine. Sunday Night Football. Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions. I got the Lions -2.5.
Lions 4.5. 4.5. So it's a
Okay, that's
key
a fair
number.
spread. And now, unless this one's moved again since, I'm pretty sure I knew it just because it was hard to avoid it. Monday Night Football, New York Jets at San Francisco 49ers, and I believe it's still San Fran -3.
San Fran -4.5.
It moved.
It moved.
It moved again.
It moved
Okay,
again.
maybe I smashed the Jets money line then.
Looking at +180 right now, but not too bad. So, how do you feel about these spreads, Jim?
I mean, the one that jumps out to me the most, the Buffalo one jumps out to me. Miami jumps out to me, only being 3. Cleveland being favored jumps out to me a little crazily. Other than that, I mean, most of it seems pretty chalk. I mean, I was pretty close on most of them. Houston, I get it. Week 1 is rough.
Well, do you want to talk about that now?
I want to talk about tonight's game.
You want to talk about tonight? Let's talk about tonight's game, and I'll tell you all about Indianapolis because I went on a deep dive for this and it was pretty funny. But let's talk about tonight's game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles, which I don't even know who the home team is. The Eagles are the home
The
team.
Eagles are the home team.
Versus the Green Bay Pack Attack in Brazil. Wild game. You see what they were saying to the players before the game? That they were telling them to only stay by the hotel?
Yeah, I mean, because
It's Brazil. It's
a
crazy.
fucking third world country.
Yeah. So, do we want to get in depth here, or do we want to do handicapping first?
No. We're gonna do this game first, and then we're gonna do the handicapping. I mean,
Got it.
we can start by picking against this spread here for handicap purposes. I think we're both taking Green Bay plus the 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
it's that simple. I think Jordan loves the guy there. It's just standard Green Bay practice, you know. That team, it's death by volume.
So we're both obviously taking Green Bay plus 2. In terms of actually betting on the game tonight, like outside of
It's an odd game.
fucking nonsense that we'll get into, can you do me a favor on the old cell phone there?
I'll do you an old flavor here.
I need an alternate line.
On standby.
I need a Green Bay alternate line -3.
-3 for the Pack Attack.
Green Bay -3.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
160 plus.
Plus 160. What's -3.5?
77.
What?
177.
Plus 177. Yeah. So what's plus -2.5 plus 150?
134. It's a lot of movement.
Goes from 134 to 160.
2.5 is 134. 3.5 is 177.
And
3 is 160. Yeah.
All right, so that's the play.
3.
Don't worry about a push. My play for tonight's game, my primary play, alternate line, Green Bay Packers -3 points. If it pushes, you make your money back. That's a beautiful thing too. I'm not willing. If it was 150, 145 to go to -2.5,
You would consider.
I'd cut it down to 2.5 and be like 3 points and we win. A field goal wins it. At this point, a push is a push. I'm not willing to take that many of the points off. I'm okay with a push, you know, and I might hammer that tonight and leave no more action. But in terms of that, Josh Jacobs for dose.
That seems pretty fun.
What are
So
the odds
I've got
of Josh Jacobs for dose?
I've got a very odd feeling about this game, but I'll give you dose real quick. Give me a second. Let me get to 2 touchdowns here. If they're offering it, but it looks like they're not. Oh, 2. Here we go. 600. Not a
Plus
bad number.
600 for Josh Jacobs to score 2 touchdowns. I'm smashing that.
Even money for 1 touchdown.
2. Show me 2.
Take dose.
There's no fucking A.J. Dillon. Done for the year.
Really? What
A.J.
happened?
Dillon went on the IR like 2 weeks ago.
I wasn't paying attention.
A.J.
to the
Dillon
pack.
went on the season-ending IR like days after our fantasy draft when I took Josh Jacobs.
Really?
Yeah, I drafted Jacobs, and then days later,
So
A.J.
we
Dillon
both
out
hold.
for the year.
So we both hold shares of Jacobs in fantasy. So
Yeah.
obviously, I like that pick, but it's a crazy game. We're in Brazil.
What's
Crazy
the total?
atmosphere.
Over under?
Total over under on this game is, if it would give me the fucking total over under, 49.5. So looking at shootout territory.
So I like the over.
I like it too.
I like the over. I absolutely love Jacobs to score 2 touchdowns as like the silly bet, and then I think the bet is Packers
Packers
-3.
money line.
No, Packers
Packers
-3.
-3. Alternate line. I like that.
Those are my plays for tonight.
So my play for tonight is just the straight money line because I don't want to play no games with alternate lines. It's just not how I roll. For my silly bets, because it's a crazy atmosphere and it's a crazy game and we got a high total on the over-under, I like the Philly defense to score a touchdown. And not only a touchdown, the first touchdown.
Oh, okay. What are the odds of that?
22. 100.
100.
So, but
It's not 22,000.
not 22,000. But, well, when we get to the BDSOW, shout out, we'll talk about it. Anyway, I do like, I like that a lot. If we're talking safe bet and you want to just look at the game individually, I think if you're looking at Jacobs for like 60 plus rushing, maybe, if you want to go into those details, I think you go
No
safe.
prop bet is a safe bet. But
Lamar rushing's a safe prop bet.
I guess, but not really.
So is Jalen Hurts rushing.
Niels. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to run a lot this year.
We'll see.
Push.
I think he'll scramble.
I think
a
the
lot.
tush
I don't
push
think
is.
we're running.
I think the tush push is now behind us because Kelsey
Kelsey's
retired.
not here yet.
I think Saquon Barkley is going to be the battering ram on the goal line for Philadelphia this year, instead of the touch.
I think they'll take care of Saquon, though. I like Saquon for a touchdown. I mean, I feel like that's a safe bet. But if we're looking at just pure odds here, Jacobs even money, AJ Brown plus 125 for an anytime, Devonta Smith 160 for an anytime, Christian Watson 210, and Jaden Reed 210 for an anytime. Was kind of, you could go either way, but that's pretty good value for Jordan Love, who's death by volume. Dobbs at 245. Jordan Love to get in there by himself is 310. But so the Philadelphia first touchdown line moved from 2,200 to 2,500. So you get some juice now.
Okay, yeah, juice on it on a pick six. Let's go.
I love juice or a scoop and score.
Scoop and score. Yeah.
Listen, it's Brazil, dude. Crazy things happen. But my favorite line is Dontavian Wicks for an anytime at plus 370.
You love Dontavian Wicks.
Dude, he's got fucking burners on him. And he has the opportunity to take the number one role from either of them because he's just as fast as Jaden Reed and Watson. He's just as good at running routes. They're a good, solid team, and any one of those guys could be the best receiver on the team at any time. So I think Wicks gets one early. I think it's a deep ball to Wicks or like a chunk play. It's a chunk play touchdown with some rack in there. But I feel like that's the vision I'm seeing for that guy because he's just always making plays. Right. So for me, my silly bet is the first touchdown scored is a Philadelphia defense touchdown. My safe bet is 40 rushing for Hurts, and the play for me is the Green Bay money line. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be a good game. I hope it's a shootout because that would be electric. I would hope to see Josh Verdos. Josh Verdos would be electric.
Yeah, I mean I might bet that. I think I will. Let's handicap now. We're going to go through the entire slate and just pick the games based on the handicaps, based on the fucking lines that we have here, and then after that we will make a couple of wagers. I need you to announce the game and the spread, and then pick it. Go in any order. It doesn't have to be on the order I have that written down.
Copy that. So we'll start with the Cards at the Bills, 6.5 in the Bills' favor, and I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover.
6.5?
6.5 plus 6.5.
I'm also going to take Arizona plus 6.5.
Like that. We're on the same page here. Next, we got New England Patriots at the Cincinnati Bengals with some live movement on the line. Now 7.5 in the Bengals' favor. So people are betting the Patriots. It went down. I'm going to still take the Bengals to cover.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Cincinnati plus 7.5. Two teams this year that I might just employ the strategy of bet against them no matter what are the Giants and the Patriots.
Hell yeah. Moving on to the Jaguars at the Fins. Fins -3, and I'm taking the Fins.
Yeah, me too, I think.
Fins just look good this year. And now we get to one of my favorite talking points of the pod today.
It's 3?
Yeah, the line is 3.
Okay.
Next game is Houston, Texas at the Indianapolis Colts. And over the past 15 seasons, the Colts on opening day are 0, 14, and 1 against the spread. Yeah. So it makes you think. So that's why I'm going to go with the Texans. You just got to look at the numbers, and sometimes you got to make a pick.
-3?
-3.
I'm going to take the Colts plus 3.
And my second favorite talking point of the night, Tennessee Titans at the Chicago Bears. Starting quarterbacks selected number 1 in the NFL draft are 0, 14, and 1 on opening day.
Yep.
So I am going to take the Tennessee Titans to cover.
What was the spread?
3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. Trailing my Matt Eberflus first coach fired point that I made on Tuesday, I'm going to.
I think it's still an entertaining game.
It starts with a disappointing loss in Week 1 to Tennessee.
But that's what happens for these quarterbacks. We'll move it on. We're going to the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants at JetLife Stadium, not MetLife, JetLife. And I'm taking 1.5 for the Vikings. I feel like that's just we're employing your strategy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm also taking Minnesota -1.5.
All right, so we'll move on to the ATL, the Dirty Birds, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers at the Falcons. Line's 3.5. This one will make you think a little bit, because two teams that have seen a lot of change over this offseason. I'll let you go first this time.
This one's really tough for me to pick because, like, Atlanta kind of feels like the team where it's like, oh, everything's different. It's going to be different this time. It's like the domestic abuser. It is.
It's like Joe Mixon.
It's like it's like the domestic abuser who, like, I'm sorry, I apologize, I've changed, I'm not going to do it again. And then 2 weeks later, the casserole's cold and they're slapping you in the teeth. You know, it just kind of feels that way. But there aren't many better matchups that they could start with to try to get the wheels going than against this Pittsburgh team with an absolute disaster at quarterback. I mean, the entire franchise is in disarray for probably the first time in my life watching this game. So I will take Atlanta minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you with Atlanta. Just for the sake that I hold stock in Kyle Pitts, and everyone's like, Kyle Pitts, Kyle Pitts, Kyle Pitts. And usually you have that type of enthusiasm as a Jet fan towards the Jets, right? Oh, this is the year. Like, we're going to be better, right? I'm rooting for Kyle Pitts this year because I think that guy who was in conversation for a Heisman Trophy as a fucking junior at Florida, I'm pretty sure. This guy's got nothing but he has the talk, and supposedly he has the talent. So hopefully I'm thinking it's going to be a good year in ATL. So I'm going to take the Falcons, 3.5. We're going to move on to Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Saints favored by 4. And to be honest, I don't like it, but I'm going to take the Saints minus 4. It's one of the ones where you just... But I know your stern opinion on the sophomore quarterback over at Carolina, so...
I think Carolina sucks, and so I'm also going to take New Orleans minus 4.
So, we'll move on. Denver Broncos at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks minus 6, and I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it could either be a disaster or it could be we could be in business here. So,
6 just seems like a lot to me.
It does.
For Generation Geno and the Seattle Seahawks offense.
Generational Geno. Don't fucking disrespect. Don't write that man off. He ain't going right back.
I don't need him to write back. I've seen plenty of Geno Smith.
Haven't we all? Las Vegas Raiders at the LA Superchargers. Chargers minus 3. And this is another tough one, but I think I'm going with the Raiders. Just can't see the Chargers making a splash this year.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers minus the 3.
You probably win that one.
I'm gonna take the Chargers minus 3. Just better quarterback, better coach.
Yeah, I could see
at
it.
home, coming off of a very disappointing year.
All right, Dem Boys in Dallas at the Cleveland Browns. Browns minus 2.5, and I feel like you're just silly if you're not taking the Cowboys. As much as I hate it.
It feels stupid to not take the Cowboys plus 2.5.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels stupid not to, and so I'm with you on that one.
We'll move on to the Washington Commanders, who are going to be, once again, the Redskins, hopefully.
Is that true?
Multiple Native
It's
American tribes
it's been going on for
the push is
time.
heavy now with the new ownership. Like I see it every day.
I just said the new owner said they weren't going to go back to the Redskins.
They are like the press, the public is coming out and being like,
it was always just a smear campaign on Snyder because he's a piece of shit person.
Yeah, once they realize that, they'll probably go back.
Anything to get Dan Snyder out of there.
Commanders at the Buccaneers. Give me the Buccaneers 3.5. Line is 3.5 in the Buccaneers' favor.
I'm going to take the C words.
Them C words.
Plus 3.5.
The former Redskins. We'll move on. Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions. Spread is 4.5 in the Lions' favor. And I'm going to take the Rams.
Really? I was about to write
Detroit.
Yeah, because you love yourself some Dan Campbell. I'm also taking the Rams. We're running out of time for my quote from the year they traded for Stafford that they would win 2 Super Bowls under Matt Stafford with McVay.
I think this is the year they can sneak one.
They might be able to.
And our last game on the docket for this week 1 of electric NFL football. New York, Jets, Jets at the San Francisco 49ers. The line is 4.5, and we're Jets fans, bro. It's the Jets plus 4.5. and we'll die on that sword, and it'll be okay. It's okay. I'm still okay to be hurt because that's trials and tribulation, right?
Look, over a field goal is what's making me take the Jets here. Had it been 2.5 or 3, maybe I feel differently about it. I just think both defenses are too good for this game to get out of hand in either direction. So I think over a field goal is insanity, and that's why I'm going to go for the Jets plus 4.5.
Some good old school football. 2 great running backs, 2 great defenses. Maybe some rock throwing in there.
I don't know if it's going to be a rock fight. I just think it's going to be a heavy defensive battle. There's a difference between a defensive battle and a rock fight.
Yeah.
A rock fight is just offenses that can't figure it out. Like, there's a difference between not being able to figure it out and just being shut down and shut out.
I could see that, yeah. Well, let's see. It's Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, but they are in Cali, so
Let's do some gambling. Those you don't know,
we're doing some units here.
we start with $1,000 every week. $100 a unit. And we see how much money we can make.
It's jumping off the page for you. Because I'm pretty sure we agreed on a lot here in the handicap.
We're going to start with you having $100 for your BDSOW. You don't have to give it now. Let's start this way, Glizzy God.
I think we're going to agree, no?
Well, just so you're aware and you remember, the Glizzy God is not a pick to cover. It's a money line.
It is a money line bet. But the rule is, the rule of thumb is -3 and over.
Yeah. +3.
+3 and over, sorry. Are we going to agree on the Glizzy God?
I don't know.
Denver?
No.
No, you're not taking Denver. Who do you have?
Is your Glizzy God Denver?
I mean, I had them written down originally as my Glizzy God, but now that I realize the rule of thumb is my +3, I'm kind of looking at Tennessee.
Okay, so make a decision.
I'm going to take the Titans. That's +3.5. That's a money line bet. I'll get that up for you. Give me 1 second. Give the odds.
My Glizzy God, while you're there so you can get the odds, is going to be the Arizona Cardinals to win the game.
That's a...
I've been down on the Bills all year.
You're not a Bills guy.
I've been down on the Bills all offseason.
So, Tennessee Titans money line on the Glizzy God is 100 wins you 250, so 150.
So +150.
Yep.
Cardinals is...
Getting it for you. Give me 1 second. Why is DraftKings? You need to stop with the U.S. Open, bro. I'm not trying to watch tennis. It's NFL Week 1. +240 on the cards. So what are we doing? 100 on? Oh, that's the parlay. Don't need.
No, we're gonna parlay the two of them.
We're gonna parlay the Glizzy God.
Glizzy God, 2 Glizzies, 1 bun.
I like that. I like that, Jim. I like how you think. +750. So you want to do 100 on
So
that?
it's 100 to win.
850, 750.
750.
Yep.
I don't need. Yeah, when I have the odds, I don't need it.
Right.
All right. So you have 100 for the BDSOW, which I'll let you do last. So effectively, there's 800 left.
Let's go safe this week? Yeah.
Do you want to just put 800 on one bet?
I think we start slow.
I think we should.
Yeah, I agree with
So
you. What's the game that you think? And I'll tell you. Because I like Miami.
I don't feel that strongly about Miami. Plus, I
Okay.
saw over your shoulder that it's in your BDSOW, and I don't want to fucking lose twice. So can I see what it is before?
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, that's in the parlay.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. Games that I feel really strongly about. Packers +2, I feel pretty good about.
Anything else jumping off at you? Like the Vikings?
Cincinnati -7.5, I feel good about. The Vikings -1.5, I feel really good about.
Let's see if we can find something here that looks not spicy, but pretty good. The boys. How's that boys money line feel? I know how you feel about Deshaun Watson, but how do you feel about that boys money line? Because if we're going to be safe, I think we should take the only time that the Cowboys are ever going to be an underdog. And I feel like if we don't, we're silly.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Let's go.
The boys, +114. So that's 800
$800
to win 1,112.
That's after you took the 800
800
off?
out, yes. Oh wait, no. That's 912. Sorry. Excuse me.
800 to win 912.
Yes. The payout is 1,712, so I'm pretty sure my math's pretty correct on there. 912. Yeah.
What was the payout?
1,712.
Yeah.
So 800 wins.
800 to win $912, and that leaves us $100 for the BDSOW.
The
Jack, I will turn it over to you.
The BDSOW.
For those of you who aren't aware of the BDSOW, Jack, let them know what it is.
So the BDSOW, one of my favorite acronyms, okay, stands for the Big Dick Swing of the Week, okay? Everyone's familiar with big dick swinging. Everyone understands. Even Jim knows over here, swinging that microphone around.
Swing a dick once in a while.
You have to, because you know what? If you're not having fun, what are you really doing? Besides trying to make money. But yeah, the BDSOW. So we got Miami -3. We got the Eagles defense to score the first touchdown of tonight's game. We had the Texans -3 and the Titans money line. Okay. Jim, can I get a drum roll, please?
Hold on. What was the third one?
Texans -3.
And?
Titans money line. Our total odds on this parlay is plus 23,625. So a pretty large odds boost, not odds boost, but a pretty large parlay here. 4 picks. 100 is going to win us back $23,000 and $625.
$23,625. So, to conclude, we have the double barrel glizzy parlay, Titans money line, Cardinals money line. That's plus 750. We have $100 on that to win $750. Then we have what we're calling the safe underdog bet, where we're going really big on to try to build ourselves a bit of a bank account here. The Dallas Cowboys money line over Cleveland. That's 800 to win $912 at plus 114 odds. And then we have the Big Dick Swing of the Week, the Jack Hawkinjoe's Big Dick Swing of the Week. Miami Dolphins -3, Houston Texans -3, Tennessee Titan money line, and the first touchdown prop bet in the game tonight, Eagles defense. That is, like we just said,
remember all caps when you spell the name, baby. BDSOW.
100 to win $23,625.
So,
happy hunting, happy football season. What do you got?
So if I put us up $23,000 on the bankroll this week, does my BDSOW go from 100 to 200?
Yeah, sure.
You saw it here first.
Left-handed handshakes aren't binding contracts. But yeah, sure. If you do that, sure. We'll let you put all 1,000 on the BDSOW next week. What are we talking about here? That'll be over by tonight. There's no way the Eagles defense is going to score first. 0 shot.
You see the smile on my face?
Yeah, I see, dude. This isn't DDP winning by submission a month ago. This isn't Bo Nickel knocking a guy out a month ago. This is way different than that. If that happens, dude, I don't even want to be like the
Don't
Florida
say
State
anything
dog
because
shit
we're
guy.
still.
That's
I was gonna say
though.
we're still looking for
Do you
the
have anything
Florida
else to
State dog
say?
shit guy. So don't say anything.
Do you
crazy.
have anything else to say?
Happy hunting. We're fucking back.
We're so back, baby, and we are so excited to be back with you.
Bruce is back. Ditka's back.
For our 5th season, Coach Ditka, Bruce.
Moonshot fucking Mooney is back.
For our 5th fucking season of the Parlay-Vous podcast. I appreciate it if you guys listen and watch and enjoy us and continue to tell your friends about us. Let's try to keep this thing going here, you know? As we get older and more responsibilities, it's harder and harder to keep this fucking podcast alive, keep this dream alive. But I will not quit until I absolutely do not have a choice anymore. Even if that means at some point in this season, we might move from a studio show to an all-Zoom show. That might be just the reality of the situation right now. But we will not stop bringing you fucking pods every Tuesday and Thursday throughout football season. Love you guys. Thanks for watching and supporting. We're brought to you by House of Havoc Podcasting, Stay Thirsty Company, Dino Skate Park, and Justin's Chop Shop in West Hampton Beach. Peace out.
Stay tuned from Jimmy T and Jackie C.